to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we do two pledges every place I go, and now I'm gonna start whispering.
You do the Texas.
Glad to, and they are so close. And then at the end it changes, and it flubs me up at the end now. I never thought that would happen. Okay. We are moving into the public participation section that is not an agenda item. Is there anyone who has signed up or who would like to speak on a non-agenda item?
I have not received anything.
Okay. Then we will move on to the regular items. We will be having a public hearing to consider an ordinance amending the Town of Bartonville Code of Ordinances, Chapter 14, Article 14.02, Exhibit A, Ordinance 361-05, Zoning Ordinance, by amending Chapter 12, Village Center District, VC, Article 12.2, Uses Permitted, by granting a conditional use permit to allow for the operation of an event center use located at 1001 IT Neely Road. Staff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Y'all previously approved a CUP for this location and this use. That was ordinance number 734-22 last year. They have made some changes. They're fairly minor, but it does add a chapel. Again, the discussion was the chapel would be better to have the wedding in one place and the reception in another. So again, we reviewed this. It still meets all the standards. Staff is still recommending all of those special uses or those conditions from the previous CUP. Both Doug Powell with McAdams is here, as well as Marty Bryan, the owner. If y'all have any questions when we get to the public hearing.
We will open the public hearing at 7:03. Speakers. Please give your name and address.
So my name is Doug Powell. I'm with McAdams. Address is 201 Country View Drive in Roanoke. We represent Marty. We were back here, I think it was in October of last year when P&Z recommended to the council approval of the CUP for the event center. Here's the location, blue. It's a large piece of property that's really constrained by both the power line and the floodplain, that gray area. And so this is the site plan that was approved. It was an event center and parking. There was overflow parking for Marty's business there to the right. And what Marty did is once got approval, he started talking to operators. And instead of having one building in one space that you have to turn, you have to hold the wedding and then kind of shoo everybody out and then set it up for dinner. Everybody said what you really need is a chapel to have the service and then a space for the reception. So this is not expanding the size of the use and the number of people that will be there. It really just is operational, changing instead of one building, two buildings. And the chapel you see there to the right. They're circled. That other circle is we were here, we had discussed putting parking under the power lines and we weren't sure if the utility company was going to let us. We actually got them to allow us. And so there is additional parking that's shown there. Again, we kind of mentioned it last time. And the other thing I want to point out is as you get farther along in the development process, we realized that there was a lot of trees. And I think there's 63 trees. We're saving, I think, 40. Yeah, I better look at my notes. 43 of them. or 64% of the trees. And that's why you see, we actually could have added a lot more parking, and we did, but then we realized that there were trees that would have to come out. So we're trying to protect some of those trees that are existing trees that are there. And that's a difference from the original plan. We think, again, we think it's going to be a benefit to the community. My understanding is TxDOT is actually okay to light at IT Neely, which would, I know there's a lot of discussion about the traffic. And Thad mentioned the conditions that the council placed. Those are on page 4 of your staff report. We'll agree to those again in terms of the operation for the event center. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I got Kara King here with our engineering group, but I know you want to hear from Marty too.
Could you switch back to the one without the chapel on it? If it's, I mean. So that was a patio and part of.
Yeah. It was a service kind of entrance, a truck turnaround. The building, the main building's in the exact same location that it was. It hasn't changed at all. But yeah, to the east, to the southeast of the main building is where the chapel is going to be. Oh, you know what I didn't show? There's elevations. There we go. So this is what the event center is going to look like, and this is what the chapel is going to look like. And again, the way it's designed, you pull up and you're going to see this, see that chat, you're going to be staring right at it. And we think there's a drop-off area and a nice patio or walkway between the chapel and the main building. And we think it's going to be lovely.
What are you going to do with the bride when she's putting on her clothing?
Well, there's going to be rooms for both of the grooms and the bridesmaids to change.
How many people would you be able to put in the chapel? About how many people will the chapel hold, more or less? I'm just kind of curious.
The same occupancy as the event center.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yes, that's fairly large. Okay.
Yeah, it's not really a big structure. It is an aisle down the middle and seats on both sides, a little stage.
How tall is that?
Oh my gosh.
Less than 35.
Yeah.
Just checking. You knew exactly why I asked that.
You trained me well.
Any questions?
Is that extended parking lot? Is it paved parking, the new parking lot?
Yeah,
Or is it gravel?
there is gravel on the east behind 7-Eleven, which is really going to be used for Marty's employees. And so if you go back.
Go back to,
Yeah.
But the new one that you got circled there, that's the part that's the part you're getting added. Is that a paved or gravel? I'm just curious.
I think that's paved. Yeah.
It's gravel.
Oh, that's gravel.
Yeah. It's under the power line. Yeah, I kind of wondered about that. If they would they allow you to pave under their lines?
Well, we're shocked that they're letting us park.
Yeah.
I am too.
Yeah, so.
You did get it in writing, didn't you?
Yes, yes, we did. We're going to do exactly what they tell us.
Right. That's really a good use of that land.
Mm-hmm.
And they can still get down under there if they need to without it being paved. Any more questions? Okay. Anybody else want to speak?
Happy to speak if you have any questions.
Do you want to come up and tell us how great it is?
Sure.
It does look good in the pictures, that's for sure.
That only gets better. Marty Brown, 913 Hat Creek Court, Bartonville, Texas, 76226. Yeah, in fact, all of the improvements we've made to the space, I'm super excited about. Y'all know that we don't have a shortage of dirt on that property. So one of the things we're super eager about is creating some really cool landscape berms kind of around the back end of the space. Certainly when people are in a space like that, you don't want them to see the power lines and everything that's around them. So our intention is to be able to use some of that excess dirt to create an intimate space so that when people are there it'll do two things, make them feel like they're in wherever. And then more importantly, it'll help us protect sound and any visibility from the neighbors in the new neighborhood in Hudson Hills there. So the other thing that's really cool is on the landscape plan, they've done some really neat elements to kind of beautify that space. And there's two turf areas. And so one will be a landing area. So as they phase out of the chapel and the weather's good, they'll go into that first landing area. And then the one behind the event center will be a place that people want to exchange vows outside. They'll be able to do that. So should function pretty well.
Weekend, they probably wouldn't want to do that outside.
Not this weekend. No, not this weekend. Bad idea.
It's very.
Well, I think it's also,
self-contained.
Doug brought up about saving all the trees. So we actually had to give up, I want to say 18 parking spaces in order to save the 16 or 18, 20 trees, how much it was. But we felt it was worth sacrificing the parking for the beautification of the space, obviously.
But I believe you're still over the required amount, correct?
Oh, 100%.
Parking?
Yes, ma'am. I think we're probably double the parking requirement.
So when you need that, you'll just tell your employees they can't park there that day.
Yes, ma'am. We'll have them park at the new salon. Because it's nighttime, they're closed, right? So it's perfect. There's only one thing better than parking, and that's free parking that
Right.
Kim and I have already worked out. So on her use, when she closes at 5 during the week, we'll be able to use her space for our overflow parking, just as she'll use our gravel parking lot during the day for her staff parking. So should benefit us mutually.
Could you tell me what, there's something that isn't quite completed that
This
we
does-
need that explained?
This does not meet the zoning ordinance requirements for a full site plan. So again, this is for the CUP. This does it provides enough information for the CUP process. The full site plan per zoning ordinance still must be approved by town council when it gets there. So again, there's just more detail level that's required to go to town council.
Doesn't need to come back to us, though.
It does not.
Okay. Well, unless there's something else you have a burning desire to tell us, or something one of us has a question about, I think that does it.
I just wanted to say thanks to the town and the efforts been made on behalf of the mayor, the council, everyone that was involved to be able to help get that text dot approval for the light. I think that's going to be a really positive thing for that thoroughfare, the new neighborhood, the event center, the salon. I mean, it's very necessary. So the only other thing we need is a no U-turn sign right there. But anyway, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Do not have a time yet on the light. We have heard from the county commissioner, their county judge, that there is going to be one placed. We had provided crash data and other information through the process, but we didn't realize that he was also pushing for it. So
Are there
Good
two
news.
lights going in there or only one? Because the IT Neely one, obviously, that's important, especially with more people that are going to come out of there. But then the county commissioner's letter that came out said they're putting one coming out by the is it IT? No, it's not IT. Razor
Razor
Elementary
Ranch.
School. And that is not very far from this one.
I have not seen that. So I do not have an answer, but I will find it.
Thank you.
There may still have a design phase. Haslett was approved for a light at 156 and Westport Parkway, and it took them 2 years to get it installed. TxDOT does not move quickly, even when they make a decision, but I'll find out what I can on that.
Well, I can't imagine they would put two lights that close together
I
on
can't
407.
either.
So somebody's goofed. I hope it's not the ITE Neely part that's the goof.
I don't think it's, again, we provided crash data on the IT Neely intersection, not the other.
Okay. All right, at this point, we will close the public hearing at 7:15 PM. Okay, we need discussion and motion. Could you take us through, or maybe I can find it, what page is the list of the CUP items?
Page 4. If you go to page 4, they are listed there as this is literally a cut and paste from the adopted CUP ordinance. That way the definitions, all of that is in there.
And there's nothing that you have found that needs to be adjusted on this since we're redoing them? And was there anything added to this that we didn't put on there?
No, unlike the last one
council?
where we had the council did not add anything to y'all's recommendations. They took them as recommended.
Well, sure, we did an excellent job
Y'all
last
did.
time.
And
I
unlike the
can't think of it.
Whataburger, we didn't miss any lighting issues or anything like that last one. So we're
Okay.
comfortable on this.
Are there any more questions or concerns that you would like to discuss or bring up?
I think it's amazing that he's come up with this, how to utilize that space. It looks like it's gonna be really pretty, and I looked at it and didn't think it could be, so. I
No.
think this is great for the town.
That's taking probably the ugliest piece of property in town and turning it into something beautiful.
Amen.
So do I have a motion? That we
Stated.
we need to say anything about the site plan that's not there, that do we need to add that in
Not about the
Motion.
site plan. I think this exhibit is something that's going to be attached. And then in the motion, Larry, I think you should also say with the same conditions as the previous CUP.
Same conditions as before.
second? All in favor? Okay. Motion passes unanimously. Future items.
Do know you will have a replat of the Fuller property on the next agenda. That's the Missy
Second
Growl.
half of
Missy
it.
Growl, when they had to rezone that 1 acre, now they have to come back and replat. So that one should be on September.
Anything else that you're aware of?
That's all I know of right now. There's lots of variances and things floating out there that people have called about, but nothing in the office.
In that case, we will adjourn the meeting at 7:18.
Lots of